Welcome, friends and fiends, to the Critique Podcast. I'm your host, Kenny. I'm here with my co-host today. It's Devin.
Hey.
And together we're here to watch and review every horrific and often hilarious episode of the legendary HBO anthology series, Tales from the Crypt. Welcome, everybody. Today, I'm here in studio with Devin. Devin's in the house. Welcome, Devin.
Hey.
Hey, it's good to see you. Godden could not make it this week. Godden's my normal co-host. You see all of his credentials right below Devin there. Godden at UAPP06. Go check him out. He could not make it this week. He had guests. He had guests over at his place, and it was just too much to have the podcast and real life happen. Sometimes this happens, and we got to kind of part our ways. It breaks my heart, but I'm more than happy to have Devin here. You may remember Devin from a recent stream I did. Devin and I were streaming Final Fantasy 3 together. Yeah. So here's Devin.
Hey.
Before we start, dive into the episode, we are going to get to know Devin. And I start any new guest off with their origin story. So Devin, if you can share, please, your origin story with us, we'd love to hear it.
Middle school. It's really the gateway drug that is Army of Darkness.
That's a great one.
Oh yeah. No, you start with Army of Darkness and you're like, oh, that was great. And then it's like, hey, did you see Evil Dead 2? You're like, what are you talking? Oh my, that thing slaps. It's and you just go from there. And this was also the era of video stores, so it was like, hey. And so, it just becomes this gateway drug of going from one to the other. And before you know it, you're like, yeah, this is all great. Why? I've been missing out on this whole time.
Yeah, and you and I are very close in age. You're just a few months older than I am.
Yep.
And so we kind of were in that 80s era of horror flicks, but we did a lot of our growing up in the 90s.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, you can still go to the video store and you can still see all the VHS covers of all those horror movies. And back then, horror movie cover art was just just hit different back then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So go in there. I remember Evil Dead also. Evil Dead 2 in particular. I remember seeing that in the video store and seeing the skull with the eyes and just thinking, what the heck is this? This is brutal. I've got to watch this.
Yeah.
And of course, the movie wasn't that horrific.
No.
But it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I guess it was horrific, though. There was the blood and there was a lot of grotesqueness in it. But to me, it never seemed as scary as it was just fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, it gets to a point where it's just extreme slapstick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So okay, Army of Darkness, that's a great first step into horror.
Yep.
So we are here, boils and ghouls. We're going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 10, The Ventriloquist's Dummy. This aired on June 5th, 1990, and it's actually from the comic Tales from the Crypt. So it's a little more horrific than the last few episodes we watched, which makes me happy. I love when we have some practical effects, and we absolutely have some practical effects in this particular episode. It stars Don Rickles and Bobcat Goldthwait. Are you a fan of either one of them?
Rickles, I mean, he's hilarious. I don't know if I really followed. Bobcat's great. You ever seen God Bless America? That was him directing. It's good.
Which did he direct that one that with Robin Williams?
Which one?
World's Greatest Dad, or was that Stephen Wright?
I'm not sure.
That might have been Stephen Wright.
Yeah.
I don't know why I get them too confused sometimes. Not because they have a similar sense of humor, but because I think they're both known for their voice.
Yeah.
Stephen Wright's very monotone.
Yeah. For sure.
He has a lot of control over his voice, and then of course Bobcat does his Bobcat thing where he talks really weird all the time.
Yeah.
My biggest Bobcat movie was when I was a kid. I used to watch this a lot. Hot to Trot. Have you heard of this?
No.
Oh my God, it's awful. It's so terrible. It's a talking horse movie.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
Bobcat Goldthwait stumbles upon this talking horse who's voiced by John Candy.
Wow.
John Candy was the absolute star of that.
Of course.
Of that role.
Yeah.
His voice is just unmistakable and hilarious. Bobcat was interesting, but you say he went into directing?
Yeah.
That might be a good move for him because his acting is His acting leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Unless it's really out there, then it's pretty good. Like, again, like something like Scrooged.
Was he in Scrooged?
Yeah, he was the kind of guy who gets fired right off the bat, and like he ends up being drunk for most of the movie, which is...
I think I remember that part. I think so. I don't know, though.
He goes around with a shotgun at the end.
That's not ringing. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's just all about Bill Murray for me on that one.
Yeah, fair enough. That is, it's a classic.
All right, and Don Rickles, I'm really not much of a... I wouldn't say I'm not a fan. I just never really got into him.
Yeah,
so it's not that I don't like him. It's just that I've never really...
well, it's a generational thing, too.
That's probably true,
so
too. He was probably more popular back in the 60s, 70s?
Something like that?
Maybe even the 50s. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know. I would recognize him, though.
Yeah,
I recognize him in the actual show, even without the credits. I recognize Don Rickles, so he's that. He's enough, but I never really followed him.
Yep.
So anyway... So we're going to hop into this episode, but before we do, I already gave Godden socials at the beginning of this. If you want to reach out and say, hey, Godden, we missed you, please do. He can be found on Twitch at UAPP06. If you turn that upside down, it actually spells Godden. Pretty neat trick. And I can be found on YouTube and on Twitch through 2 Bad About Kenny. That's TOO Bad About Kenny, as well as the number 2 Bad About Kenny. I stream video games on Twitch, as well as YouTube, and I do movie reviews and book reviews on YouTube as well. So go check us out if you like hearing us blab on about things. We'd love to have you there. I want to give a disclaimer, too, before we actually start this episode. Devin and I are not experts, okay? No. We are not film critique people. I've never taken like those film study classes or anything like that. We literally just watched the episode like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we come here just to kind of share our thoughts and opinions about the show. If you like our opinions, feel free to reach out and share. If you disagree with our opinions, feel free to reach out and share. If we get something wrong, which we're probably going to get something wrong, feel free to reach out and share. So we're here to build a community around something that we really enjoy. Now, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen this episode, go watch it, because we are going to do an in-depth review of this episode. We are not going to hold any punches or pull any punches, as they say, and we're going to dive in and get really specific. So if you haven't watched this yet, go watch it. Now, the description, inked in blood on human flesh, on the back of the DVD box set here. Okay, what did we just watch here? The ventriloquist dummy says, "Who's the puppet? Who's the master? A wannabe ventriloquist discovers his idol's showbiz secret." And notoriously, with the back of this DVD box set thing here, these descriptions, they leave a lot to be desired. They're very, very short. So I actually wrote my own. Here it is. Okay. An inspiring ventriloquist, Billy, seeks out his childhood idol, Mr. Ingles, who retired from the stage years ago after his assistant was killed in a mysterious fire. Now, living as a recluse, Mr. Ingles reluctantly agrees to watch Billy perform. But after the show, Mr. Ingles is spotted fleeing from a car with a dead woman inside. Billy confronts his idol and uncovers the dark secret behind the old ventriloquist and his dummy. Dun, dun, dun. Terrifying stuff. Before we start, the world wants to know, Devin, what are your overall thoughts of the episode without going too specific?
It's okay. I'd say it's a good middle of the road kind of episode. Worth watching. Yeah. I mean, I got some good laughs out of it.
Yeah, good laughs. I got some good laughs out of it.
Yeah. It's yeah. So like again, referencing, it's has a few moments of Evil Dead 2-ishness in it.
Yeah, a great episode for you to be part of.
Yes,
this one.
Yeah, actually worked out quite well. Yeah. Yes.
This is an episode, by all means, on paper, I should love this episode.
Yeah.
I should absolutely love this episode. I love doll theme stuff, Chucky with the Child's Play, even Slappy with the Goosebumps books and TV shows. Yeah. I like that. I like the Puppet Master series. I like the idea of dolls coming to life. So that really I was already invested in it. Now, spoiler warning, the doll being alive by the end, that's the twist, is the doll's not alive.
Yeah.
It's something else that's going on.
Yeah.
And I like that. So
Yeah.
that was good. And at the very end, they had some really grotesque effects, practical effects, lots of blood spatters and that kind of stuff. and good practical effects overall. So
Yeah.
a lot of gore, a lot of hack and slash, the doll, the twist. On paper, I don't like this episode though.
Yeah.
There's some things about this episode that just really bothered me. I did watch the episode earlier in the week, and I was having a hard time putting my finger on it. And then when we watched it again, it all kind of fell into place. So
yeah,
but we'll get into that as we go.
Yeah.
So the opening scene is the Crypt Keeper opening up a package from Hackme Novelty Company. Of course, it's not Acme, it's Hackme, because this is the Crypt Keeper here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a ventriloquist dummy. So he takes the dummy out and he asks the dummy, "Would you like me to tell you a tale from the crypt?" And the dummy says, "No, thanks, scat breath." And so the Crypt Keeper responds by saying, "Then how about sitting closer to the fire?" And he throws him into the fire. And I gotta tell you, when I don't know if you noticed this, but when he throws the dummy into the fire, the Crypt Keeper has like this very self-righteous like nod that he does as he kind of comes back into position. And I just gotta say, the operators for the Crypt Keeper puppetry, like they're such a good job.
Yeah,
I feel like
spot on.
He's so fluid, and just his animatronics of his face are always just so perfect. And that little smug, he even does a little blink as he kind of nods when he throws it. Like, like there, kind of a look.
Yeah.
I just even that small little thing, I noticed it, and I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah. Nice.
So the Crypt Keeper says, "That's better. Now I can dole out a diseased little ditty about the schizophrenic nature of showbiz and how to hack your way to the top. So grab hold of your guts, kiddies, because tonight you get to rub elbows with the ventriloquist dummy." And that's the intro there. So as always, the beginning of the episode starts off with a opening panel. And I like to just take a moment just to talk about the opening panel and kind of what's going on here. In this panel, we have, again, Tales from the Crypt does this a lot with their opening panels. They have like 3 layers of distance. They have the foreground, the midground, and then the background. And in the foreground, you've got the Bobcat Goldthwait character trying to run away from the dummy. And the dummy's actually grabbing on to the character's ponytail. So, and then behind that is the ventriloquist holding up a cleaver, getting ready to, strike.
Yep.
I think and then behind that even is some pictures. And those pictures actually are in the episode in the ventriloquist's house. You see lots of pictures up of different people.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really able to recognize anybody in those pictures. Did you?
No, I wasn't even looking.
No?
It was kind of background. I'm like, okay.
Okay. I did notice that there were lots of like hanging pictures in there. I don't really know who those people were or what, but I also didn't pay much attention though either.
Yeah,
I just happened to notice they were there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything about this, the opening panel that catches your attention?
Actually, the funny thing is, for any metalheads out there, this view reminds me a hell of a lot of the cover to Spiritual Healing by Death. Because there's a preacher that's like, about to smack this guy, but it's a very similar vibe. Even the art's kind of around the same thing. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of really what spoke out to me other than it's just that it's the late 80s, early 90s. So the clothes are up to 11 as far as color and all that
Oh yeah,
stuff.
Bobcat's, I think the character's name is Billy, but his outfit is on point.
No, his outfit
is on
we got
point
mustard,
for the 80s.
We got ketchup, whatever the other thing you can't see. It's like
mayonnaise in the back.
Right? It's just like, what?
Yeah, we got it all, don't we? Oh, that's good. I like that. And then
oh my goodness.
All right. So scene 1 is we don't know this yet, but it's 15 years ago. It's Mr. Ingles, who's the main ventriloquist. This is the Don Rickles character. He's performing with Morty. They're just cracking jokes back and forth, and the jokes are stupid, but they're getting like a roarous laughter out of the crowd.
Yeah.
We're talking jokes like, "Oh, you're going on an African safari, huh? That'll be dangerous." "That's okay. I brought my gun." And he says, "Does it shoot lions?" He says, "No, it shoots bullets. Lions are too big to load." And that, of course, gets a big laugh out of the crowd. Just hamming it up with dumb jokes.
Oh yeah. It's straight up reading from a popsicle stick. Those are the jokes.
Oh, right. Those are the types of jokes.
It's just like, or like Laffy Taffy. Or
man.
Man.
Those level jokes that you would see like in a second grade funny jokes to tell your teacher books.
The cringe of the cringe.
But the overall atmosphere, I feel I was getting 1920s vibes, like 1930s.
Kinda, like vaudeville kind of.
Yeah. So I don't know when it takes place. I don't think it ever says when it takes place. I'm sure if you paused it on one of the newspaper articles,
I'd say 60s.
It takes place in the 60s.
Give or take.
Okay.
Maybe 70s.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't say. Maybe if you pause the episode on one of the actual.
Well, when did the episode come out?
Well, the episode came out in 90s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So according to this,
so
right,
like early 70s.
Right. That's if you assume that the present day took place in the 90s, which some of the episodes don't. Some of the episodes are like clear back to the 30s.
Yeah. That'd be my assumption.
Okay. So in the audience, there's also a young boy in the audience, and this little kid's having a roarous time. He's laughing, and even his mom behind him is kind of patting him on the shoulder, having a good time. And this boy is who turns out to be Billy. We don't know that yet, but definitely one of the main characters in the crowd. And at one point, Mr. Ingles, the ventriloquist, starts like roasting the audience. I thought was interesting. Is that like a normal Don Rickles thing to do, like to roast the audience?
I think it's more just of that era. Like if you've ever seen like Caddyshack. It's funny because I hadn't watched it in a long time. Then I watched it and I'm like, wow, this is kind of mean-spirited. I don't really want to watch the rest of this anymore. Because like 90% of the humor is just dunking on people. And it's like,
oh, really?
Okay. Like it's kind of funny. Huh. I don't know. I mean, I might be talking sacrilege to anyone who loves Caddyshack, but it's just not my vibe.
You know, I haven't watched Caddyshack. I watched it a long time ago.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I've kind of grown out of love with Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
And
he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, I get that sense when I see his interviews or just hear other people talk about him. So even like Christmas Vacation, which is like one of my favorites.
Yeah,
it still is a good movie to me. But when you bring up mean spiritedness, I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see when he's kind of mean to his brother.
Yeah,
he's mean to his neighbors, and I can kind of see that from Caddyshack as well.
Yeah.
I just haven't watched it.
No,
in a long time. So
it's okay. I'll take Animal House over Caddyshack any day.
I'll take Scrooged.
Oh yeah.
So he starts roasting the audience. I wrote this down. Maybe you can help me with this.
Yeah.
He tells a joke, and one of the guys doesn't laugh. And Don Rickles' character says, "I see you, fat guy. I'm gonna paint some stripes on your face and roll you down to the beach." What the hell does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know how fat equals surfboard, or maybe fat equals
roll you down to the beach. So it made me think like a volleyball, or
maybe
a beach
just
ball?
a beach ball.
Maybe that's what it was. That
was not a well-written.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Joke.
I think Don Rickles might have been going like off the cuff and just kind of going for it.
Oh, it was a dummy.
It was a dummy.
Yeah, it was a dummy coming up.
Okay.
The good jokes are Don Rickles. The bad ones are the dummy.
Okay, got you. So the next scene's after the show. We're backstage, and Mr. Ingles is signing a photo for that young boy. And he basically tells, oh, by the way, the boy is Billy. And he says, I want to grow up and be a ventriloquist just like you. And the mom's in the back like, no, you want to be a doctor.
That's messed up, man.
Just smash all of your kids' dreams. But that was a normal thing to do back in the 15 years ago. That's what you did, right? You just smash your kids' dreams. No, I'm kidding, of course. So, Mr. I forgot his name, Mr. Ingle? No.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call him Mr. Ingval, like Bill Ingvall.
Oh, no.
So Mr. Ingle tells him, basically, if you ever need any advice, feel free to look me up, and that will come into play later. Then a little bit later in the dressing room, the assistant comes in, and she's very, very flirty with Mr. Ingle, and she's looking forward to their date, and Mr. Ingle insists on canceling the date, but the dummy kind of turns its head. He's still wearing the dummy, by the way. The dummy turns its head and starts to flirt with this assistant girl, and they end up, committing to the date. But I definitely got the impression that Mr. Ingles' desires and the dummy's desires were different.
Yeah.
This is where you start to kind of, what's going on here?
The first peak.
Right. Is it the dummy? Is it dummy kind of on its own? What's going on here? So that they do have a little bit of red flags there early. So the next scene, you're over at Billy's house, right? Billy's laying in bed, and he's kind of admiring the picture taken or he's admiring the picture that Mr. Ingles signed, and he's also trying to like practice being a ventriloquist. I don't know if you ever did this when you were a kid. I think it was more popular when you were a kid than it is to do as an adult, but I did try to practice ventriloquism. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Being a ventriloquist. I did try to practice like,
over the wall.
I did do that. So I think this episode did good on that, like sparking the fun or tapping into the fun that is, wrapped up in
totally,
ventriloquism.
totally.
Yeah. So the kid was having fun trying that. I related to that moment. So anyway, mom tells him to go to bed. So he starts to, get ready for bed, but then he sees it across the street. There's a giant fire. He looks out his window and he sees, this building burning down. And I think it was meant to be the performance building. Is that
I guess so.
Yeah. I got that impression, but then it comes back.
It was kind of big.
Yeah.
And then it was weird that he lived just down the street. But I mean, I suppose that's not that weird, but I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he just lived across the street
from
this place.
We don't have time for any more sets, okay? We're just going to put it on one street.
Right.
Deal with it, Billy.
Yeah. So Billy witnesses the old theater kind of burning down. And then that's it. That we get flash forward in 15 years. And in this moment, a car is arriving to an old house on almost like a farmhouse with no farm, just like a lot of property with a house, but nothing else really around it. This man arrives. This is Bobcat Goldthwait. Turns out to be Billy grown up, and he gets out and he brings his dummy out with him, and he and the dummy go and they knock on the door.
Starting already.
They knock on the door, and it's Mr. Ingles' place, and Mr. Ingles is not happy to have guests. He basically yells at him through the door, tells him, "Go away!" And this is where the Bobcat Goldthwait character comes back and says, "I've been driving for 3 days. I'm not leaving until you talk to me." In his weird Bobcat Goldthwait voice.
Yeah.
And this is I got confused throughout this episode because sometimes he'd be hamming it up with his voice. I'm like, "Yep, that's Bobcat Goldthwait."
Yeah.
And the other times he was trying to play it straight.
Yeah.
So I got confused. Is this Bobcat Goldthwait the actor, or is this Bobcat Goldthwait the character? I wasn't quite sure who I was watching at any given time throughout this episode. So anyway, Mr. Inkle ends up letting him in. And so Billy comes into the house, and I gotta tell you, I don't know about you, but I got bothered by how uncomfortably Billy makes himself at home. He just starts putting his things down on his couch. He starts getting into his belongings up,
Oh,
I just kind of felt like this guy's making himself at home awfully soon here.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Oh, he even reaches and grabs an old newspaper article.
That's right.
Of the fire from 15 years ago, and Don Rickles is upset. He's like, "No, I don't know how that fire started," and he kind of grabs it away from him. And then that's when he reveals that his right hand got hurt in the fire, and it's all bandaged up. And
it's wearing a black something
oven mitt
bag. Oven mitt. One of those alcohol, for the fancy alcohols. It has a bag that comes with it, and it's a little drawstring or something.
Right?
Crown Royale.
I keep the bags I like.
Yeah, don't pay attention. Doesn't matter.
This is how I know what to buy next time.
Yeah.
So that's when he reveals he's wearing an oven mitt. I guess he's been wearing this oven mitt for the last 15 years because he's got wounded from the fire. And that's where Billy asks, and by the way, he's not performing anymore. Mr. Ingles performing after that fire.
Yeah, that was his last
because he lost his performance hand. And Billy says, "Well, can't you do it with your left hand?" He goes,
"Oh no, it didn't burn down."
What?
Because he goes back and plays at the
That's what I was confused about. Right. That's because it looked like the theater
fire somewhere.
Right. It looked like we're talking now back in back in scene 2. When Billy sees the building burn down, I assume that was the theater. But
was it even burnt down? I think it was just
maybe just a room. Maybe that's what happened.
It was just a kitchen fire.
Yeah, maybe it was just a room or a kitchen fire or something. Yeah. I was trying to piece this episode together.
Mom's making grits again.
I think we're putting more emphasis on trying to how to fit this episode together than the writers did.
Yeah, right.
So Don Rickles' character, Mr. Ingles, is not performing anymore. He lost his good hand, and he can't perform using his left hand. So he's not performing anymore. He's retired. He's an old recluse. He's just kind of, living there being miserable by himself. And the whole reason that Billy showed up was to ask the Ingles character if he can come watch him perform as a ventriloquist, because ever since he saw him perform as a kid, he's been his idol. But he wants to become a ventriloquist also. But over the last 15 years, he's been supposedly practicing on how to become a ventriloquist, and it would be his honor to have his idol come watch him. So far, this seems like, okay, I can follow along with this. It seems reasonable to me. But Mr. Ingle doesn't want to agree to this. He's kind of bitter about it. So finally, he agrees, okay, I'll think about it. And that's enough for Billy to put a smile on his face, and then he leaves, and then we go to the next scene.
Yep. the one thing not related, but and honestly, it's almost more of like a retroactive thing. But have you noticed there's a theme in movies these days, like with Halloween and like that really questionable Terminator movie, which does not, that's like most Terminator movies except for 1 and 2. But there's that whole thing of like, hey, look, here's a secluded place in the woods that somebody lives in. And it's like, this is almost a precursor for that, a little bit of just like, hey, look, someone, it's like, and even in that like Final Destination movie.
Right. Yeah. There's always some character who is secluded from not just society, but like environment, everything.
Yeah.
Like
it's
just
a similar kind of vibe of just like, it's like, oh, hey, you got Sarah Connor in there.
Right.
And,
You don't just live alone in the house. You live alone in the house, and the house is alone from everybody else as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like a seclusion.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying there.
Yeah, I just thought it was a funny little.
So the next scene, we're back at that, I assume is the same theater that didn't burn down. And we're backstage. Billy's getting ready to go on, and he's pacing back and forth nervously. And in this scene, while he's pacing back and forth, of course you did.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask, did you notice the woman playing the cups?
Yeah. Why was she there if she wasn't on next?
That's what I kept thinking.
What the heck?
So there's this woman, and she's got this whole table full of glasses that are filled up with different amounts of liquid that she's trying to play like a musical instrument.
Yeah.
You know how you used to do that as a kid.
Yeah.
So she's doing that while Billy's pacing back and forth. And he keeps pacing very, very close to that tray.
Yeah. Like she's going to get knocked
and she's like, oh, careful, like back up. Like she's like, like preoccupied with trying to play her instrument, but at the same time, she's trying to, shoo people away who are getting really close to it. But Billy's pacing back and forth while that's going on. So I kept thinking, okay, we're going to have a crash soon, right?
Yeah.
He's going to knock something
That would have
over.
made sense.
Right. So then he peeks out the curtain and he sees Mr. Ingles show up. So he gets even more nervous and he starts pacing even more frantically back and forth.
Yep.
All the while, that woman's like, nope, stay away from my cups, right? I kept waiting for something to crash or something. And he's on next. So he grabs his dummy and he goes out on stage and nothing happens with that woman and her cups. And I kept thinking, okay, maybe while he's on stage, it'll knock over or something.
No,
there'll be a payoff somewhere. There's no payoff.
No.
That woman was just there.
It's like when you're playing like some video game or something. It's like, oh, look, here's a hallway that goes nowhere. It's like, why'd you build a hallway? Just put a wall there.
That is so funny you say that. That is so funny you say that.
Oh, my goodness.
In my playthrough right now of Final Fantasy 3, there's just like dead ends with no chests, and I get so frustrated.
Oh, my,
There's nothing to get there.
Yeah, it's messed up. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't know why that woman was there. I think maybe, I don't know. Maybe they meant to do more with her. Maybe she was meant to go on next. Maybe she was actually going to perform. If she actually performed, that would have been neat to see. Or, like I would have preferred, knock the thing over.
Yeah.
Get it over
don't put it in there.
Or don't put it in there. I would have preferred just to knock it over.
Oh.
Get it over with and knock it over and let us have our laugh.
Yeah, right?
So anyway, he goes out there to perform, and of course he completely bombs.
Well, the head falls off first, which kicks off everything.
Right. He sits down, the head falls off, he has to put it back on. People are already laughing at him. He starts to do the worst, I could do better than this, ventriloquist act, where he's like, he's not even attempting to not move his leg.
It's pretty bad.
And this is where Bobcat Goldthwait as a character just lost me completely. I'm supposed to assume this guy spent 15 years being obsessed with Mr. Ingles and Morty and practicing and getting ready for his big show and being ready enough to drive 3 hours to the door of Mr. Ingles to ask him to be at your show. He put more effort driving to Mr. Ingles' place than he probably did putting this act together.
Yeah, I mean, I have two ways of going with it, which is he had more practice and had more skill and was just completely thrown off by an actual audience that was against him and he totally blew it. Or more in line with what you were saying, it's kind of like that thing of like if someone was like, hey, you're really good at making voices, you should be a voice actor, and you having no acting chops or anything and being like, I can go do this, and then just totally bombing. So it could be a middle ground of the two.
Maybe his mom is behind this. His mom who wanted him.
I told you should have been a doctor! You worthless!
She's probably like, oh, honey, you really want to be a ventriloquist? Oh, you can do it, honey. Oh, you're so fantastic. Oh, you don't need to practice. Just go do it, honey. You're so great. And then as soon as he leaves out the door, she's like, hey, let's watch him fail.
Yeah, right? Morty, get the camera.
Oh, that damn mom.
I told you should have been a doctor.
So I'm telling you, this guy was like comically bad.
It was
for how much it was
bad.
all set up for him to be a ventriloquist. Like the whole point was he was practicing over the last 15 years. By the way, this might be too soon to say this, but I was thinking, rather than the twist that we got, what if the twist was he really was good? He really did spend those 15 years practicing, and next thing you know, he's like flawless. He's got the crowd in his hands, and then Mr. Ingles gets jealous. And
that would have been another way to do it.
That might have been an angle to come at it, but instead we get this really weird, awkward, uncomfortable scene of him just absolutely bombing.
Yeah.
So
that would have been interesting. Yeah.
So after the show, the next scene we are up kind of at the bar, kind of above the stage area.
Yes.
At the bar, and Mr. Ingles is kind of having a drink by himself, and he gets approached by a woman.
That's the best way you can put it. Yes.
A woman.
Factual.
Right. A woman, a scantily dressed woman who comes up to him and says he's very cute. He looks like her grandpa, and he can offer him a family discount.
Senior discount?
Her words, not mine. A family discount. So anyway, he says no, and she walks over, and sits at the other end of the bar. And that's when Billy shows up, and basically he lets him have it. He tells Billy, basically, you're terrible, kid. You had no technique, no concentration, no material. And he suggests that he gets into a new line of work. Maybe he can go be a doctor. Maybe mom's going to get her wish.
Too late now. Sorry, Billy.
So Billy leaves, rightfully so, with his tail between his legs, because he did do terrible. And at this point, there's an interesting scene. We linger back on Mr. Ingle, and he grabs his hand. It's still bandaged. He grabs his hand. He looks down at it, and then he looks up back at that woman. And he gets up and he walks up to the woman and he says, "How about I buy you that drink?" So there's something weird going on there. What did you think, by the way, when this is going on?
Oh, it's the ring.
You thought it was
No.
It was the one ring to rule them all.
No. Yeah, no, it made sense. If anything, it just leaded more into the okay, what's going on with this hand situation? Because again, at the moment, I'm like, okay, is this a split personality kind of deal? That would kind of make sense. Maybe there's because originally when he first showed his hand, I'm like, oh, it was burned. Obviously, that must have been what happened.
Right.
And so, yeah. So having it kind of be, I mean, it was sort of okay, this makes sense. I get it. All right. But I mean, again, leading up to it was oh, okay. And then, and then we just kind of jump to the next scene. It's oh, okay. Well, here we are now, I guess.
Yeah. There wasn't much. It would have been interesting to have them kind of go off and do something. Then
that would that would have been.
But also up to this point, there's been no, other than that very, very first scene, remember, where the assistant comes in to go on that date, and he says no, but then the ventriloquist or the dummy looks up and says, let's go twits or something like that. There's been no red herring of the actual dummy.
Correct.
Being up to something.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting to kind of sprinkle in here somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's just it's something's up with the hand.
Yeah. So we don't know what. But
I knew the twist, by the way. This isn't one of those episodes. I forgot the specifics of the episode watching it this time through, but I knew the twist. I knew that the hand was coming out eventually. So I wasn't really surprised, but okay.
It show his hand eventually.
Yeah, it does show his hand eventually. So the next scene is Billy's kind of leaving the place, and he has his dummies basically, yelling at himself. "I'm so stupid. My mom was right. I should have never did this." And he takes the dummy and he starts, smacking it against the trash can to throw it away. And when he does this, he overhears. He runs towards the screaming.
That's right. Yeah.
He runs towards the screaming, and he finds a dead woman in a car. And the people around the car are basically saying, "Mr. Ingles, he was here, but then he ran away. So something happened." And this is where we are getting ready to go into the finale here. So Billy goes back to Mr. Ingles' house to basically confront him to see what was going on. So this last bit of the episode, basically almost the rest of the episode is here in Mr. Ingles' house. Billy barges into Mr. Ingles' house, and he's getting ready to inject his arm with something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, so Billy thinks he's a junkie. And he takes it turns out to be morphine. He takes the morphine and throws it across and says, "You're just a junkie. You were my idol. I looked up to you, and you were just basically just a junkie." He's really upset with his idol. Mr. Ingles says, "No, I can't believe you did that. That was my only way to to basically save us from Morty. It was Morty. Morty did everything. And that's where everything starts to really unravel here, especially from Billy's perspective. Because from Billy's perspective, he's like,
no, he's too busy looking in a box. He's like, no, he's fine. Doors they're not real. It's just stuff, man.
Right. Yeah, because he says it wasn't Morty. Morty's just a bunch of wood and cloth. So he takes a box down. He starts to rummage through things that aren't his.
No kidding, right? Don't touch that.
But it does get revealed, though, that there's a whole Morty setup, but Morty doesn't have a head. No head. And when he discovers that, that's at the same time, Mr. Ingles had grabbed a cleaver, which was hanging conveniently on the wall, by the way. Right? Did you see that?
Yeah. No, right? It's just like, it's where I keep it. Right. No, for no particular reason.
I just keep a cleaver hanging right there in the middle of the kitchen. You never know when you're going to have a nosy neighbor come start digging through your stuff.
Yeah, right?
He grabs the cleaver and he comes at him. And he tries to hit him, but he misses him, probably because it was with the left hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, he says, look again for Morty's head. And he digs in and he doesn't find a head, but he finds a mask. And that's the mask that he uses for Morty. And it turns out he takes off that bandage that he's been using to cover up his hand the whole episode. And there's basically like a half a body dude. A half a body dude who, by the way,
it's just Quado.
It looked like Quado.
Straight up Quado.
It looked like Quado from Total Recall. Absolutely.
Open your mouth.
Right. Instead of coming out of the side of his stomach, it was coming out of his actual right hand.
Yeah.
And as goofy as this was, and it was goofy.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was good practical effect. I thought it looked good.
No, I mean, look, any practical effect, even if it's a little cheesy, is still always better than CGI. Yeah.
I always said, if I could tell it's fake, I would rather tell it's fake of a prosthetic than to be able to tell it's fake with CGI.
Yeah, because at least there's like heart and effort that went into it and not just like programming.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. If I could tell it's fake, I would rather it be practical effect. So, I mean, but the animatronics were good. The lips were moving, the eyes blinked, the eyes even looked back and forth. It was a very, very impressive little whatever that thing is.
Yeah, puppet.
Morty. Prosthetic
puppet. Arm. Handyman.
Yeah. So this finale piece here is interesting. At first, Mr. Ingles trying to kill Billy because he doesn't want basically to reveal the secret of what's going on. But while he's attacking him, Morty is saying, basically, I was the brains of the operation. I was the one who was funny. This guy's just a bunch of dead weight. And that drives Mr. Ingle mad enough to actually take the cleaver and just hack off his own hand. Yeah. And again, great practical effects. Right. It looks really good. Yeah. The way the skin was tearing between the two and then the blood squirting out and just the cleaver hacking away. It looked great.
It was solid.
It looked really, really good. So again, more reasons why this should be a really good episode to me. And I should enjoy it. And I did enjoy these parts. So he chops off his hand and basically is sitting there bleeding out, sitting on the floor. And he basically says to Billy, it doesn't matter what happens to me now. I'm free. But he has kind of like a Zen moment before he finally bleeds out and dies. But wait, there's more.
Well, he wasn't quite dead, I think, yet. Right?
Was he not? Oh, he wasn't quite dead yet.
Hit with a fucking...
That's right. Okay, he wasn't quite dead yet. But he does start to accept his own fate.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And, but wait, there's more. There's more Morty.
Yeah, right?
Because this stupid...
Morty!
I don't know, Morty. I don't know. So this Morty is still alive, right? This hand puppet character is still alive and just like roaming around the house.
Yeah.
Basically like a little Chucky doll now.
It's great.
It's hilarious. It's really, really funny. And very, like you said, Evil Dead.
Yeah.
He chops off his hand with a chainsaw and then the hand's just kind of running around all over the place. Very, very similar premise. But Morty runs up to Mr. Ingle and basically bites his neck.
Oh, that's right.
And
again, good practical effects.
Great practical effects on this. You can see the skin tearing away from the throat. It looked really good. I know it sounds morbid when we say it like this, but if you know, you know. If you're a horror movie fan, we don't have to explain it to you. The effects were great.
Yeah.
The blood was splurting out, and then that's where he bleeds out and dies. I think.
It was that? No, then he got hit in the head.
There were
baseball afterwards.
There were 3 opportunities. There were 3 opportunities for this character to die. He could have either chopped off his hand or had his throat bitten, but we'll save the best for last. So while little Morty's running around, the Billy character like grabs the baseball bat and is basically trying to, get him all over the place.
Man.
And at one point, the Morty character is on the shoulder of Mr. Ingle, and then he goes to take a big swing, and of course Morty jumps off, and he just whacks Mr. Ingle over the head, knocks him back onto the floor. So if he wasn't dead the first time, he would have been dead the second time.
Perfect.
If he wasn't dead the second time, he would have been dead. Yeah, right. This guy had 3 glorious deaths.
That's a rough day, man.
It was a rough day for Mr. Ingle. So eventually, he gets him into the meat grinder, and there was a loose floorboard.
Oh, that's right.
When he first came into the house,
floorboard.
That's right. When he first came in, he stumbles on this floorboard that kind of that's loose, and it kicks up. And you're like, that was weird. But then, of course, by the end of the episode, little Morty is standing on the other end. He kicks the floorboard. Up goes Morty. He hits him with the baseball bat. He flings off the wall, and he lands into a meat grinder. And he starts grinding him into a hamburger. And at that point, Morty pleads with him, I'll do anything. So Billy gets it in his head. And this is, I think, the twist, right?
Yeah.
This is like the twist after the twist.
The extra twist.
Billy decides to actually use Morty as the ventriloquist. So he now has another ventriloquist act. And so he's on stage, and this time he's killing it, and he's doing all the right jokes. But then in walks a beautiful lady, and Morty starts to goggle at the lady.
Yes.
Is it hoggle or goggle, by the way? I think it's hoggle.
Oogle.
He begins to oogle at the lady walking in, and they start to argue on stage back and forth. Hey, stick to the script. No, I'm going to say what I want to say. And then he starts screaming. Billy starts screaming. He takes off the Morty ventriloquist outfit, and his hand is actually fused into Morty. So is this like a secret power that we didn't know Morty had?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of questions. And why is it the audience had no reaction? It was just like, oh, hey, that's cool.
Oh, they were getting up and walking
out.
They? But even before he took the ventriloquist dummy off, though. When he was arguing back and forth, and then he started to scream, they just started getting up and walking away.
Yeah, I've seen
And then he took it off, and then it's not just fused completely, though.
His fingers sticking through what would be his torso.
Right, his fingers are sticking out of Morty's neck or throat.
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's really,
it's really awkwardly done. And the scream he delivers at the very end is very C movie tear.
It's
pretty bad.
It fits the episode.
Yeah. And let me just go to the Crypt Keeper's outro real quick before I really get into it. But we cut back to the Crypt Keeper at this point. He says, sheesh, the things some folks will do to get ahead in show business. And when he says ahead, he takes a head off of the dummy that he was that he had taken out of the fire. And he says, oh, well, next time somebody tells Billy he's no dummy, he can say, want to bet? I don't know why he would say that. I want to bet. There was no betting in this.
Yeah.
I
think it's just,
they're hit or miss.
Yeah. Again, pomsicle sticks.
Yeah. That brings us to the end of the episode, and that's it. So usually every week I try to do a shriek of the week, which I think is the funniest moment or funniest pun of the episode. Did you have one?
I don't know. I mean, nothing sticks out as specifically. Yeah, none of it really hit super hard. I think there was just blips here and there that were oh, that's funny. But I don't think there was one specific oh, that was solid. It was kind of
I tell you, I did like that moment. This is very, very small.
One?
I did like that moment where Billy was lying in bed and he was practicing being a ventriloquist. I can't tell you how many times I've done that as a kid. Really practiced. That moment, for some reason, it's not super funny, but I don't know why. That moment just really spoke to me. I felt
it's like a nostalgia.
Yeah, I felt oh, that's the little kid Kenny hanging out there trying. I could totally relate to that kid. So for that moment, I was with Billy, and I understood his vision. Fortunately, he didn't spend 15 years practicing, and he sucked.
No, it was more just I've been watching all of the dummy movies I could possibly watch. I read dummy books. Studying, no. What's that? I haven't done that. But,
when did those dummy books start coming out? Like those, like like such and such for dummies, like computer coding for dummies. What if he had a book, Ventriloquist for Dummies? Dummies for Dummies.
Well, that was the whole thing that the title of it is just the Ventriloquist Dummy, as opposed to who? Couldn't you just have called it the Dummy and that would have been enough?
Right.
Like
the Dummy.
It's kind of like,
Right. What would you call it?
The Dummy?
The Dummy.
That'd be enough.
So I would be hesitant to watch this episode again and again or to recommend it to friends.
Yeah.
And I think it really is Bobcat Goldthwait's performance, I think, holds us back a lot. Like I said, it was so inconsistent. Is this the Bobcat Goldthwait who does those weird voices and is funny? And I shouldn't say funny because like ridiculous.
Yeah.
The over-the-top ridiculousness of his character, because he wasn't giving it the whole time. He did it sometimes. He would go into that character, but not all the time. So it was very inconsistent. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. The fact that when he went into, and I know this isn't Bobcat Goldthwait's performance as much as his being directed to, but I didn't like that he just made himself so at home in people's house. Didn't seem to me as very respectful of his idol. He just kind of helped himself do these things.
Kind of weird. Because there's no way in hell I'd do
Right. It was very, very strange. He for revering this man so much, he just kind of treated him as like, oh, just let me whatever I want to rummage through, let me take.
Yeah.
And also I didn't like his performance when he was actually doing his his ventriloquist performance. He clearly wasn't studying. It was like he wasted everybody's time. He wasted his idol's time to go do it. It bothered me enough for me to not like the episode, basically is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, and again, there's so many ways it could have gone that might have been more interesting, because it wasn't bad, but you could have done something where maybe Bobcat's character is more unhinged and I don't know, something where at the end it turns out he actually becomes a dummy and it's just and maybe it's this whole thing of Don Rickles quit because the other guy died, and then it's now Bobby's here and he's insane, so now he's been turned into a
That would have been interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like that, where he becomes obsessed and then maybe attacks the Don Rickles character. Then you would have to get rid of the whole dummy arm thing.
Yeah, but
there's the other ways you could have done to make it more interesting. The Bobcat Goldthwait character, he comes off as just being all the scenes with him are just annoying to me.
Kinda.
And since he's the main character, the last 2/3 of the episode are really focused on him. And it's I just find him kind of obnoxious and cringy to be with. As an audience member. So that's kind of my qualms with the episode. The gore was fantastic. The practical effects were fantastic. Even Don Rickles' performance I thought was pretty good. That scene in the bar when he was really trying to control his arm, but he couldn't, and he finally just succumbed to it. Yeah. The way he walked to her, you could tell he was fighting something within himself. Yeah. So I was digging his performance. It was just the Bobcat Goldthwait character.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's it's a middle of the road episode with middle of the road, okay.
Yeah. It also, how did you think it compared to other doll stories like Chucky or the Goosebumps Slappy, or there was even that doll in the Twilight Zone episode.
Oh,
I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
Yes. Actually, I've been rewatching Twilight Zone recently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I've been starting from season 1 on. I think I'm
that might be fun to do a podcast on the Twilight Zone.
Oh, dude. Well, see, the thing is again, I'm not super. This is actually probably one of the few episodes of Tales from the Crypt I've seen, but there's something about Twilight Zone that always is there's a sense of I'm being cultured now, a little bit.
Because it's so old.
It is. It's oh, I mean, it's hey, I'm listening to Beethoven right now. It's very yeah, you're not doing that, are you?
Very cultured with my Beethoven and my wine and in Twilight Zone. Yes. That's good.
It is.
That's good.
Oh man.
No, whenever they have those marathons on where they just have episode after episode.
Oh yeah.
I'll watch some. I'll watch some Twilight Zone episodes. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'd say the few other movies that were kind of doll related or whatever. Yeah, this one was okay, but it just, I don't know. It seemed very last minute, a little bit kind of shit. Okay, we're gonna do this thing, and and it's just okay, well, I don't know. His hand is actually a person. Okay, cool.
That's interesting to hear you say kind of last minute. That's how I felt the last twist was.
Yeah.
when he was putting him through the meat grinder, that could have been the end of the episode.
Well,
but having him actually use it was like the extra little bit. Like, okay, fine, I'll go with this. Then it morphs to his hand. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
that's just that's where we're going now.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing was weird because even the few times where not Billy's the other guy. Anyway, the dummy. Like whenever the dummy would get
Morty.
Yeah, Morty. Whenever Morty would get hurt, it was never like, this hurts. It was more like, oh. Like when he's putting the meat grinder, it's like, hey, could we not do this? I'd really appreciate it if we could just, I'll cut a deal with you. Please stop.
Right. How come the Don Rickles character was practically bleeding out from his arm, but then the other guy, Morty was fine. Yeah. That was a little inconsistent.
It's like, apply yourself, Morty. You can.
So I actually think it holds up pretty well against other doll shows or movies.
Yeah.
Because it does, it twists it. It's not about the doll, even though you think it should be about the doll.
Yeah.
The fact that it was his hand, I thought was kind of a clever twist on that. So I did kind of like that. I think that was kind of a neat twist on the whole doll thing. I wish they would have leaned into the doll thing more. Yeah. And had Morty show up more places, or maybe he bring Morty with him to hide his hand. That would have been kind of a good way to kind of throw off the scent. You could have really thought it was the dummy for longer.
Yeah.
Because too soon you started to realize, something else is going on. It's not about the dummy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my qualms with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And sorry, I'm just having this vision of a Weekend at Bernie's type thing where it's just the hand moving around and Don Rickles is just asleep. Like,
oh my gosh, can you imagine?
That would be a lot of fun too. I would watch that.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Wow. Anyway.
Okay, so I am going to give this. I'm going to give this episode a 2.6 hands in a meat grinder.
Yeah. I mean, it's around there. I mean, to be generous, I might give it like a 3.
You want to commit to 3? Because I'll put it here in the books.
Yeah, put it in the books. Why not? We'll make it a 3. 3
what?
Just 3.
3 what, though? We try to give it like 3 somethings from the episode.
3 fingers.
Which is coincidentally how many fingers were sticking out of his neck.
3. So there we go. There's the score.
There it is.
It's at the end of the episode.
Yeah, he gave it to you at the very end. All right. So that does it for the episode, you guys. Thanks a lot for coming along with us in this journey. I know this is a unique episode, having Devin here instead of Godden. Godden, we miss you. Maybe what I'll do is when we do next week's episode, we'll have like a little 3 or 4 minutes before the episode starts where Godden and I can talk about the episode.
Yeah.
And then I can merge these 2 episodes together through the power of editing, and nobody will know the difference.
Right?
Okay. Kenny from the future here, along with Godden from the future. Godden couldn't make it during our initial discussion of the ventriloquist dummy, but here he is. And I want to know, the world wants to know, Devin wants to know, what are your overall thoughts of the episode?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I guess it was a little bland at some point, but towards the end, I did like that whole sequence when it was them 2 against like his mutated hand or his brother.
That was absolutely the best part of the episode.
That they saved a lot of their budget and a lot of their like iconic moments just for that whole entire like last scenes where you find out it's a whole. I was actually wondering the whole entire time when he had his hand covered up when after 15 years later, I thought it was a possessed dummy, and then like maybe cut his hand off or something like that. That's what I had in mind. But when it came to be just like a mutation, his brother, I fell in love with it even more, honestly. I liked it better than what I originally had thought. I'm like, this is so much better than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I didn't mind the twist with it being like a mutated hand. I thought that was kind of a nice twist on the whole, because there's lots of live doll type or possessed doll type stories. I thought this was a really, really good angle on that.
I did like it a lot. But I don't know how I felt when he was about to kill what's his name, Morty? And he was like in the grinder, and then he got persuaded into doing a whole entire set with him. And then at the end when I just didn't get it. It's like he could have just killed him right then and there, and I guess he just really wanted to become the next Mr. Ingles, right? He just really wanted to be the next like big name for ventriloquism. But I'm surprised he even took that. Like, oh, you can do you do anything, and he like actually puts his, because at the end of that scene, his hands like deformed into him, right? Into
Yeah.
Morty in a way. Like he wasn't like holding him. So I don't know how that. I don't know. I just didn't like that ending as much.
Yeah.
I like the part where he's like, oh, he's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him. You know, I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, that last part did seem very out of character.
Yeah. It was still fun to watch.
So what would you rank the episode?
Like I said, I think that whole like final 10 minutes really carried it for me, because I don't want to give it just a solid 3. I'll give it like a 3.2, just a tad bit, because the whole the art department for a lot of their like dummies or just like makeup is like so fun to watch every time. So like seeing like, another like live animatronic that was like, it reminded me of Chucky in a way, because he had a lot of like clever witty comebacks while just being a nuisance running around like the area while they're all like, you know, trying to kill him. So I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, kind of like a smart-mouthed little character. Yeah,
it was really fun.
All right, so a 3.2,
so good.
A 3.2 from Godden. Thank you so much. And now we'll go back to past Kenny and past Devin. That was great, Godden. Thank you so much for sharing in that moment. So I do want to do some correspondence before we cut you all loose. We heard from Joseph Hill on YouTube. Joseph Hill wrote, this is regarding the episode The Sacrifice. He says, I think the episode was pretty solid. I was fully expecting the bird to play into the twist. Maybe it would repeat some incriminating thing that were said in private when the police were investigating. Just when they thought they'd get away with it, the bird could have blown their cover. But it didn't go that way. Joseph, I'm glad you brought that up. I brought that up in the episode too, and I'm glad that you're with me on that one, because that was like a red herring 3 times, like they brought it up. So that drove me crazy in that episode. I'm glad that you agree. And Joseph Hill also goes on to say, hey, I heard rumors that they might finally be converting Tales from the Crypt to Blu-ray format.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting? Wouldn't that be interesting? Yeah, because I have the DVD box sets. And if I got them on Blu-ray, I'm thinking not only would the quality go up, but maybe they can get like more on them, because DVDs can hold more information. So maybe more commentaries, more interviews, more something. That would be really interesting. I would like that. And not to mention, Joseph Hill also writes, better quality would be nice, but also it could generate more interest and new viewers to the series.
True.
So, Joseph, I appreciate you. That's nice of you to be looking out for the podcast here, the Cryptique podcast. Yeah, if anybody out there got into this show, the Cryptique podcast, because you got the future released Blu-rays, let us know. Let us know in the comments that if you're here from the Blu-ray box sets. As of right now, we just have the DVDs to really hope to watch. Basically, I have basically 7 of these things. Also, if it's not out yet, I don't know why, but Tales from the Crypt is not streaming on HBO Max. No, it's an HBO property.
That's weird.
If in the future this show ever ends up streaming on HBO, let us know that you got here through the HBO streaming. That would be interesting to find that out too. It's not yet. Who knows if it ever will be, but if it ever is that might. And a few shout outs before we go. Creeps of the Crypt and the Crypt Keepers podcast are both podcasts that I listen to almost religiously now. Like every week when I watch the episode and then I come on here to record this episode, I'll go right and I'll listen to both of their podcasts to hear their perspectives. So if you also like hearing other people share their perspectives about Tales from the Crypt, Creeps of the Crypt, the Crypt Keepers podcast, those are both great podcasts. I'll leave their links in the description below. Haddonfield Radio, Devin.
Yeah.
You like commentaries?
Yeah, most of the time.
I love commentaries.
Yeah.
I love it. Feels like you're watching a movie with somebody else.
Yeah.
And then you got to get their perspectives. Haddonfield Radio, they are on YouTube as well as Spotify, and they watch all the classic horror movies. We're talking the Halloweens, the Friday the 13th, the Nightmare on Elm Street. They watch the whole movie and they talk the whole time, and they just share their opinions and their thoughts. I love it. So I've been watching those guys. And don't forget one more. I want to give Teach Her Ama. They're located everywhere you can get podcasts, and they do the same thing we do here, but they do it with Futurama. And the reason I'm mentioning it is, first of all, I love Futurama, but also my good friend John, his girlfriend is one of the co-hosts on that show. So I got to show some love to them and make sure that you come through and check them out. All right. With that said, thank you so much for listening to the very end. Next week, we'll be here all over again for season 2, episode 11. Judy, you're not yourself today. Have you seen that one?
No.
No, I don't remember it. I don't remember this episode. This might be one that that
is it a Snickers commercial? Is that what it says? Judy, you're not yourself when you're hungry.
You're not yourself. You better have a Snickers bar.
Not sponsored.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Oh yeah, brother.
All right. If you want to watch along with us, make sure you watch that episode before next week, and then you can hear us go on about it. And hopefully, Godden is back to join us too. And hopefully, you're willing to join us again for a future episode.
Heck yeah.
That would be a lot of fun. All right, everybody. Take care of yourselves. We will see you next week. For Judy, you're not yourself today.
Well, how was that for a scream, boys and ghouls?